Hello, this is Shanker, and I'm going to talk about today the planet Mercury and my experiences with Mercury. Mercury is, usually taken as a very light planet, and people, they say that it absorbs the quality of the planet it is with. I absolutely disagree with it. Mercury has a place of 17 years, and Mercury by itself plays a very, very important role in the horoscope. Mercury for me is like a Rahu, and Rahu has no head. Mercury is like a child, and a child can be very negative, can be very positive, can be can work in a random way, can take away things, can throw away things, can have moods. So all this is with Mercury, and Mercury represents a lot of things. In terms of representation, it not only represents your nervous system within the brain, within the body, but it also represents anything which is large play fields, large grounds. Very very big things like this are represented by Mercury. Mercury represents, as far as I'm concerned, your day-to-day working is represented by Mercury. How much you will get for yourself, how much you will be able to do to make things for yourself is represented by Mercury. Mercury also represents anything which is to do with, we all know, has to do with communication, has to do with your intellect, which is very sharp intellect, aggressive intellect. It may give you very aggressive intellect. And now all this works positively or negatively, depends on where Mercury is placed. Now, here today, in my experiences about Mercury, I have seen that Mercury in the ninth house is extremely bad. And Mercury in the ninth house creates issues, not only with your fortune, but also with your father, your luck. It may, to the best extent, if Mercury is supported by any of its friends, then it's like it would give a show which is very good, but inside there would be hollowness. So Mercury in ninth house, I've always seen when it is alone, it doesn't give good results. Sun with Mercury may modify the results, but not to a great extent. Yes, but Sun and Mercury together in ninth house does modify, but then even it is not a good thing to have for fortune. Also understand one thing which I want to tell about Mercury, and this is very important, that wherever Mercury is placed and the depositor of Mercury, wherever it is placed, it will create problems in that house. Suppose your Mercury is in the fourth house, so you have to see where Moon is placed. Where Moon is placed, and if the Moon is, whichever house Moon is placed, Moon will create problems for that particular house. And the way it will create problems is, it's in the way Moon functions, So issues of that house with respect to the planet Moon, I have to understand this very intrinsic part of it, which is, it will be that way. Wherever Mercury, suppose, is placed in the house of Jupiter, let's say ninth house. Mercury in the ninth house is a lot of Jupiter. So wherever Jupiter is placed, it will spoil that particular house, and representation of that house with respect to Jupiter will be certainly spoiled. Like suppose if Mercury is in the ninth house and it is in Sagittarius, it's in the ninth house. Just forget Sagittarian as a moment, and it is placed in the third house. What it does is that it will spoil a lot of aspects of the third house: relationship with brothers, your courage, your ability to do things, issues with your the right side of your body, so on and so forth. All issues of the third house which are represented by Jupiter will get spoiled. I mean, issues of third house will get spoiled. So, मोटा मोटा आप ये याद रखिए कि जो भी लॉर्ड होगा मरकरी का, जहाँ भी जिस घर में प्लेस्ड होगा, which are house, forget the sign, it will spoil that particular house. And please try to see this and you will understand it. Mercury is absolutely bad in 12th house. If it is with Sun, again, it makes a little difference. But Mercury in 12th house is as good as debilitated, and Mercury in 12th house gets the support. I mean, Mercury channelizes energy which it meets with. 12th house has got the energies of Jupiter and Rahu, and both of it are not do well with Mercury. Do not do well with Mercury. Do not gel with Mercury. So Mercury, carries the negative effect of 12th house. It carries the negative effect of Rahu. It carries the negative effect of Jupiter. So Mercury in 12th house may create problem in family, and it will also create problems in your achieving things, because Rahu is a very important planet for you to achieve anything in life. Without Rahu, you cannot achieve anything in life, and without Ketu, you cannot get happiness in life. These are two very important planets, and Saturn actually operates through Rahu and Ketu. Saturn doesn't do itself by itself anything. It operates through these. These are the friends of Saturn, Rahu and Ketu, and they're the planets which actually are the inlet, outlet of Saturn. And Saturn is the what you will get in life, the karma, which I will of course talk sometimes later. So this was what I wanted to tell you about Mercury in brief, and must remember this, that Mercury is not good in 9th house. Wherever the Dispositor is placed, it will spoil that particular house. Mercury is extremely bad in the 8th and 12th house. It does very bad in the first to 6 houses. Mercury is fairly okay, but from the 7th to 12th, even 7th, I would leave it. But 7th to 12th, actually, Mercury is negative. It doesn't give good results. I've seen that Mercury 1 to 6 house is fairly good. 7 to 12, it is extremely bad. Doesn't give good results. Mercury also, if you look at the sign, whichever sign is placed, it will create problem for that particular sign also. I mean, suppose one is house, and the Dispositor of the house, suppose it is placed in 9th. Whatever may be the sign, it is 9th house. 9th house is ruled by Jupiter. So wherever Jupiter is placed, that is a problem area. It is also creates problems. Suppose the sign is 9. So issues related to the 9th sign of the zodiac, it will create problems for that, which is luck, which is your grandparents, which is your fortunes, so on and so forth. It will also create problems for that particular sign. Here it was the same, but when the sign keeps on changing, it creates problem for wherever it is placed. Mercury with Mars gives you a lot of things in terms of your being, intellectually very sharp and aggressive intellect. But which house it is placed will make it negative, and it will create problem there. Mercury with Moon, I don't consider it to be good. People say that, Mercury, Moon has no issues with Mercury, and Mercury has issues with Moon. My reading of so many horoscopes says that it is the other way around. When Moon and Mercury are together, Moon attacks Mercury. I mean, it is my experience is that between Moon and Mercury, people say Moon is the, is the mother of Mercury, and Moon will not do anything wrong for Mercury. It is not that. It is not right. I feel Moon attacks Mercury in a very jolting and in a very big way. So that's what happens, and this is my video today on my experiences on Mercury, houses, signs, and relationship with other planets. Mercury is a very good friend of Saturn and Venus. They are two very good friends of Mercury, and they gel well. Mercury does all its negative things of Rahu. It's like Rahu. I mean, Rahu gets all its negative things done through Mercury and vice versa. So you have to see where it is, especially when it is in the 7th to 12th houses. Mercury will get all its negative things done from Rahu. I mean, the transmitter is Rahu for Mercury, and Mercury itself, remember, it is a planet which is like Rahu. So it gives, it does give, but you need to be careful. It is not good for non-life things. It could be good only for life things. And Mercury is a planet you cannot neglect. I can go on and go on Mercury, but this is one thing. These three or four things I told you is what is my experience with Mercury. You please try it out and let me know about it. I'm there on shankerstudy.com, Shanker with the E, where you are all my books and my, my thesis, my articles which I write, etc., are there on the site, and you can always be in touch with me if you want. Thanks. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.